My mother slapped me because I was covered in blood, after saving my sister from a predator, screaming that I was a worthless child trying to scare her, unaware that in the next room, I had just swallowed a golden pendant to end the life she hated so much. To understand why I chose to die, you have to go back to the day my sister Holly and I were kidnapped when I was 5. I survived unscathed, but Holly was left mentally disabled. My mother never forgave me. She labeled me the family sinner, pinching me until I bruised, forcing me to dig candy out of drains with my bare hands, and blaming me for every misfortune. Even when I sacrificed myself to save Holly from the neighbor's basement, returning home bloodied and traumatized, her only reaction was disgust. She told me she wished she had never given birth to me, so I decided to grant her wish. I retrieved a golden heart pendant she had carved for me in happier times, and swallowed it, choking it down with cold water until it settled heavily in my stomach. I wanted the pain to stop when she barged into my room, ordering me to make Holly's bed. She didn't notice my pale face or the empty glass. She pushed me into a wardrobe when I trembled, accusing me of faking illness for sympathy. As the gold tore at my insides, I vomited on the floor. Instead of help, she grabbed my hair, screaming that I was a jealous demon, making a mess on purpose. When I whispered that my stomach hurt, she told me to go back to my room and stop causing trouble. Then, she delivered the final blow. As they left for a walk, she instructed my father to have Mr. Miller, the very neighbor who had hurt me, watch over me, not to keep me safe, but to ensure I didn't cause any more trouble. She left me alone with my abuser, unaware that the daughter she loathed was already dying. My neighbor dragged me into his basement, while my parents went for a walk, leaving me to swallow a golden pendant in silence. Because I knew if I told my mother he hurt me again, she would only blame me for causing trouble. To understand why I chose to disappear under my blanket, you have to witness the abuse I endured. Mr. Miller, the man my parents trusted to watch me, didn't turn on cartoons. He took me to a basement that smelled of sickness, where there was only a mat and a whip. He hurt me, threatening me to stay silent, knowing my mother had already branded me a liar. He dragged me back to my bed, covered my head, and warned me to pretend I was sleeping. Under the heavy quilt, the gold pendant I had swallowed earlier burned in my stomach, heavier than any bruise. I heard my parents return, cooing over my sister Holly, their laughter a cruel contrast to my pain. Mr. Miller lied to them, claiming I was just tired from playing, and my mother's response was a relief that she didn't have to look at me. As the metal in my gut tore me apart, I wished for death just to stop the hurting. When morning came, the pain vanished. I floated above my bed, light as air, watching my mother storm in to wake me for school. She yelled at the lump under the covers, calling me lazy and faking sickness, completely unaware that the daughter she was screaming at had already died in the night, finally free from her hatred. My mother jabbed my shoulder through the blanket, demanding I stop faking it and get up. But when my body didn't move, the cold, stiff silence in the room finally told her what I couldn't, that her torment was over. To understand the depths of her denial, you have to witness the days she spent ignoring my absence. She mocked me for sleeping in, convinced I was manipulating my father with a tantrum. She even chased away my only friend, Chloe, screaming at her mother that I was a demon who wanted to destroy the family, refusing to believe I had defended Chloe from bullies just days before. While I floated unseen in the living room, desperate to tell them I wasn't being naughty, they watched cartoons with my sister, joking about how long I could keep up the act. My father finally came in, his guilt heavy in the air. He stood over my bed, whispering apologies about my mother's mental state, promising me fried eggs tomorrow to make the sadness go away. He almost touched me, almost discovered the truth, but pulled back at the last second, leaving me cold and alone. Then came the final night. My mother stormed in, complaining that even a pet would bring more joy than me. She marched to the bed, not to check my fever or tuck me in, but to wake me up with a hard poke to the shoulder. She expected me to flinch. She expected me to cry. Instead, she felt the unnatural rigidity of a body that had been lifeless for 2 days. The anger drained from her face, replaced by a dawning horrific realization, as she pulled back the covers and stared into the void she had created. Welcome to share your feelings in the comment section. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more story content, please check out the other videos on my channel.